All right, everybody. So it looks like we're just starting the Facebook Live. I'm going to let a little bit of you guys kind of filter into our live session here. Before we let you know where we're at, now I know you can tell by the title, but in case you missed it, we are at the Corny Maze just off of 410. You can't miss it, really. It's right at the Traders Village. Just got to take the north side entrance, I believe is which one it is. But again, I'm just going to let you guys filter in real quick before we get into it. We're out here today because it's one of the newer attractions here in San Antonio, actually. We're looking at the Corny Maze, of course, and of course you can't see right behind me is just a little building. I think they're selling corn here, actually, but I'll turn it real quick so I can kind of let you guys see where we're at. Right at the entrance of the Corny Maze. I'm going to give you guys some of the secrets, let you guys know more about this. We've got Brian here. We'll have him come over real quick. As you guys filter in, come on. Ready? Alright, everybody, so Brian here, Brian Billeck, you're with the Corny Maze. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what kind of brought this up and why you guys are doing it.
Oh, that's fine. I'm the marketing manager here at Traders Village, and I've been here since, I guess, about March. And when I first started interviewing for the job, our general manager at the time drove me around the market and was showing me the whole property. And was showing me this corn, well, just the cornfield over here, because we grow corn anyway. We have a farmer that tills the land and stuff. And so I said, well, what's going on with all that? And he goes, oh, well, you know, we grow corn. And he said, oh, I had an idea to do a corn maze, but we just haven't done it yet. So that was that. Fortunately for them, they hired me. And my first thing I told Rudy when I got hired my first day here, I said, you know, we're doing that corn maze. And so we just put it into full gear. I really, really wanted to do the corn maze because Rudy had such a cool vision about what it would do and what it would do for the market. And I wanted to see it happen because I've been through a couple of mazes myself, and they're fun. It's just an incredible family outing, and that's really what Traders Village is all about. It's just a great family outing. You can shop here, you can ride our amusement rides. So it makes for a full day. So this was just a very strong and a very good compliment. Plus, San Antonio didn't have one. Yeah. You know, San Antonio doesn't have a corn maze, so this would be the first corn maze within San Antonio city limits.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we have some around us, and they're all good size. They're bigger, but I mean, tell us what separates this corn maze from the ones maybe in other cities.
Well, other than the fact you don't have to drive 40 miles, but our maze is 10 acres long, big. It has 3 different mazes in it, and I'd say the biggest thing that really stops everything or makes us different from everybody else is the fact that we have 3 different mazes in it. And the one thing that's really neat and unique about our maze is that we actually have a maze for kids, little kids. It's only 0.3 miles long, so it's very short, but there's a game in there that kids can play. And they go through and they hunt for these little poles, and on top of the poles are an animal track, and there's a crayon attached to the pole, and they are given a sheet of paper when they go in, and they take a rubbing of the animal track, and then when they're done, they come out and they go to the board and they can see what kind of animals are in the corn maze. So it becomes kind of a hunt and seek find type of thing for the kids. It's not just going through the maze, but a lot of the other corn mazes they don't have that. They don't have a maze for little kids. They just have like hay bales set up or something. And I'm a father. I have 4 kids myself, and I really wanted the kids to have that experience because little kids, and I'm talking like 7 under. The attention span is not, let's go out and get lost for an hour. Sorry, just not.
No, I mean, you're right. So let's actually take a look at some of the Corny Maze stuff right here. Again, guys, we're Corny Maze at Traders Village off of 4. We're going to take you guys through a little bit of what's out here. I know, of course, obviously, you guys want to see the Corny Maze, but let's show them a little bit about this stuff over here as well.
Okay, so over here to your right is a petting zoo. And so at the petting zoo, we have a llama, donkeys, goats, ducks, and they all sit in here, and that's part of the admission. When you come in, you can go to the petting zoo and hang out with the animals and everything. They're in the back of the property right now. We don't keep them in a little petting zoo area, so they're roaming free in the back of the property, and then we bring them out for the petting zoo. Awesome. Over here is the tables where people can come and get a pumpkin. So all throughout October, primarily October, we had pumpkins and people could get a pumpkin, and then once you get a pumpkin, you take it over to the table and you paint it. We provide all the paint and everything else. And so it was a fun activity for everybody. We still have some pumpkins left, and pretty much at this point, you know, you see a pumpkin, you want to paint it, knock yourself out.
Let's take a look at some of these pumpkins now. Some of these pumpkins I see over here, are these left from people that had made them, or did the staff make them?
The table right there that you see there,
Yeah.
those are leftovers. Because we tell everybody, go paint your pumpkin first, and then go through the maze, and by the time you get out, it's nice and dry. Well, they get out, they start doing things, they eat, and then they leave. So we have all these homeless pumpkins. It's so sad.
Homeless pumpkins, yeah. But I mean, looks to me.
So these are actually pretty neat. So our the two girls that work the table here, while everyone else is painting pumpkins, they get kind of bored too. So they decide to paint pumpkins too. So they get a Hulk, and of course we have Venom and Deadpool, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob over here.
Although SpongeBob is losing his paint. This is just Night Owl. That's supposed to be Buzz Lightyear.
Oh.
I had to find out. This one you can't see because it's camo, so you don't really know that one's there. So yeah, they started doing these, and they paint them, and then everyone else comes in and paints, and this is our homeless pumpkin area.
So I guess when you thought of the corn maze, I mean, was it the first you were just like, let's just do a corn maze and add nothing else, or what made you want to add all the other stuff?
No, one kind of goes hand in hand with the other. I mean, you want to make it an experience. I mean, that's the whole thing about being here. Being at Trader's Village isn't just about coming in and shopping. I mean, you can do that anywhere. You can go to a mall and do that. You can go to a strip center and do that. You know, coming to Trader's Village is more about the experience. Coming in and shopping, visiting with all the vendors, riding all the amusement rides, stopping in and having a beer at one of the bars. Then we have live entertainment out here. Every weekend we have something going on. In fact, this weekend we have a Comic-Con going on this weekend. So there's always something happening at Trader's Village. So it was about creating that overall experience. So if you're going to come in and have a corn maze, you want to have something that will create those memories, because we wanted to make it so that it was going to be really neat for the first year. So this was going to be the groundworks for a tradition. That was the biggest thing, is that we wanted this to be the groundworks for a family tradition. So we start doing it this year. Next year we're going back to the corn maze, and then the year after, and then the year after. So this was our groundworks to try to make it as a traditional family thing for people to go and do something, and do it at a less expense. That it's not something that's going to break the bank.
So I guess before we walk over towards the corn maze, while we're walking over there, what are some secrets people may not know about this?
About how to navigate? The corn is production corn. And when you come into the corn maze, we tell everybody, don't take the corn. This is not corn you take home and go eat, like you do at HEB or Wally World or something like that. This is actually production corn. The corn is harvested and used for cattle, for feed. But you still see people every once in a while coming out with 4 or 5 things of corn holding it, and you're just like, man, you realize that never mind, you'll find out.
So I guess,
you can eat it. I mean, it's still corn. It's just not going to taste very good, that's all, unless you're a cow. Then it probably tastes great.
All right, so let's look at some of these maze rules real quick. We're telling people to come down here. We're telling people about what they can do, but I guess they probably need to know what they can't do.
So again, all right, so this is really what the maze looks like. So again, here, we have the center point. There's a blue maze to your left, and the design is basically, we wanted to highlight our amusement rides at Trader's Village. So this is a carousel, if you couldn't tell. And this is to highlight our carousel that we have inside the market. The carousel that we have in the market is actually a 1909 Allan Herschell designed carousel. It's one of only 150 left in the country. Allan Herschell Company was one of the primary companies to build all the carousels for Coney Island, for all the other places. They were the design place. Now there's only about 150 of those carousels left in the country. And so we have one of them here at Trader's Village, and we've even just recently dismantled it, fixed it, repainted it, made it look really nice. Then we have our trackless train here, and this is the black maze. This is the little maze I was telling you about for the kids. like I said, it's 0.3 miles. Very easy to navigate for the kids. And then there's little highlights in there, the poles where the kids have to hunt and find those. And then this is the brown maze. The brown maze is the larger maze. 2.2 miles. This one to navigate will take you about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And you tell people that, and then they'll come out in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and they go, ha-ha, gotcha. Didn't take me that long. And then I go, ha-ha, did you go to all the checkpoints? Like, no. Didn't do it right. You'll see that there's checkpoints at each one of these places here. 7, 8, those are the checkpoints. And so when you walk into the maze, you're given a card with 12 checkpoints on it, and in each checkpoint there's a hole punch, and you hole punch the checkpoint. So that means that it's not just about navigating the maze to get out. It's about finding the checkpoints, because that's what makes it harder. If there's a trick that I would say, everyone gets this and they get the map and they think, well, this is stupid. Why'd I get a map? Now it's too easy. Now there's no trick to it, because I can get in there and now I have a map to navigate. Map doesn't really help you. Once you get in the maze, even when you're standing at a checkpoint, you'll still sit there and second guess yourself about where to turn here or turn left there, and it's very easy to get lost. And ironically, we do have people that do get lost in the maze.
What's the longest, I guess, you've had somebody get lost in here?
Oh, they don't get lost very long. Maybe 5-10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
What they'll usually do is they'll say, they'll call the number, because you're given a card that has a number on it. Mm-hmm. And if you get lost, you call that number, which is basically our front office. And so they'll call the front office and say, I'm lost. Like, great, where are you at? Well, I'm in the corn maze. Could you be a little bit more specific? I'm standing in front of corn. Okay, could we be a little more specific than that? So we tell everybody, go find a checkpoint, stop, call. If you're at a checkpoint, we have corn cops inside the maze.
Oh, yeah.
So our corn cops will radio and say, we have somebody at checkpoint 10, please come get them. And then they'll pull them out and save them. Or if they want to continue, we'll just tell them, go that way, hang a left, and we'll try to get you going in the right path again.
Now, do you mind if we go to one of the first checkpoints on the 0.3 mile one?
Sure, we can go this way.
All right, whichever way it is.
This is Nomad.
Nomad.
We call him Nomad. He's our scarecrow for walking into the property.
Awesome. So I guess being able to, hatch this idea on your own, but I mean, being able to be at the forefront of this and seeing it succeed, and finally being here, what's it feel like?
Oh, it's amazing. Literally amazing. All of us here at Traders Village, and when I say all, I literally mean all. From the managers to the employees, when you work as hard as you do on any project, and you do something and you do it well, and you put a lot of time and effort into it, when you see the families come in and come out and smiling and talking and taking pictures, it doesn't matter. I mean, that just makes everything worth doing. It makes all the hours you put into it worth it. It makes everything worth it. I know that sounds hokey, but it literally, that's our goal every day when we open up the corn maze, is to create those type of experience for families. So it does sound hokey, I get that.
No, it's all right.
But I mean, it's truly how we feel.
Now, the first time you went through it, did you get lost?
Yeah, we've all gotten lost in here when we go through and navigate. Rudy, our general manager, was in there laying down the checkpoints for the big maze. Mm-hmm. And we already had all the plot points set up where the checkpoints are. And as he's going through the maze, he got lost where he was trying to go. And actually, the blue maze is a little bit more difficult than the brown maze. Oh, yeah. The medium-sized maze. That's a little bit more difficult, only because of the carousel pattern. Mm-hmm. It repeats itself. So as you go through the carousel pattern, you get repeated, and then you kind of get lost.
Now, this is one of the last weekends for the maze.
Yeah, we have 2 more weekends left, and we were hoping to maybe go a little bit further and carry it on, but as you can see, the corn is starting to go down on us. And we can thank the recent freeze for that.
Well,
here we go.
Check marks.
So the kids are looking for these poles when they go through the kids' maze. So when they go through the pole, or when they go through the maze rather, they get to the pole, they put their sheet of paper on here, and they use the crayon, and then they just do a rubbing. And then as they do the rubbing, they get a little mark on their paper. And there's 6 of these in the maze. So they look for all 6 of them. So again, it becomes more of a challenge for them. It's something that they can, it's not just, again, the checkpoints and everything are geared to make the maze interesting. So it's not just about go in and get out. It's about trying to navigate and find all the checkpoints in, as quickly as you can.
Just showing everybody just kind of what it looks like from the top. Hopefully they don't see any cheating.
We don't really have that much cheating. In fact, what's more fun is like on a Saturday night now, especially with it getting dark early, it's fun to come in here at night. We do have a light that stays on, and you can go through the whole maze, at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night and not have a light, not have a flashlight or whatever, because we have a big light that goes on top of the pit stop over here, and it shines all over the whole maze. So the top of the maze is always lit, so you can still find your way to navigate, but it's just so cool to be like in here and surrounded, and it's dark, and yeah, it's neat.
So I guess right now we're looking at the ground, and it looks pretty dry, right? Had a pretty tough few weeks for the beginning, the first time you guys
I know, right?
How great is it to know that you guys the last weekend you'll be able to have a dry weekend?
Who would have thought? I'm all about rain, believe me. I'm all about having rain, but holy cow, I had never seen so much rain before. It was hard because it goes back to that passion that we all have here about wanting to see this maze do well, and not just do well, we want to see the families enjoy themselves and have fun. And when you can't do that because the maze is closed, because it's too muddy, it's defeating to some degree. So this weekend will be our first really strong weekend where we haven't had any rain. There's still a couple of little damp places here and there, and we'll alert everybody before that. But by and large, this is going to be a very good dry weekend. It's a great weekend to come out. It's going to be cool. It's going to be sunny. The maze is dry. We have a Comic-Con. Great weekend to be here at Traders Village.
Absolutely. All right, so we're still walking around. I think we've walked past the same stalks a few times. I guess
I thought you were leading.
I thought I'm just kind of walking around. Yeah.
Oh, great! Now we're in trouble. That's not good when you get lost in the kiddie maze.
Oh man. So we're looking at these, and some people have probably seen corn planted. It's no secret we live in Texas. There are farmers out here, but I'm sure not a lot of people have seen it planted in this way. So how hard was it to kind of make sure they're planted in a specific way?
Well, we really didn't know anything about corn mazes or anything. We hired a company called Maze Play, and we're really thrilled to be working with them because they helped us a lot. They showed us how to do it. They showed us what to do, best marketing practices, how to lay out the corn. It's been really great. So you have to lay the corn, cross plant it, so there's no rows, so you can't see rows throughout the cornfield. And then after the corn grows to about 2 feet, they'll come in and cut the pattern with 2 little tractors. It's amazing to watch how they were able to make this just very intricate design out of 2 little tractors.
Yeah, and this corn's pretty tall. You're a big guy. You're almost 6 foot.
I'm 6'1". The corn in most places is anywhere between 8 feet to 9 feet.
Jeez.
Again, when it rains really well, the corn grows very good.
8 to 9 feet. That's about how high LaMarcus Aldridge has to jump just to dunk into the dunk here in San Antonio.
He can slam dunk our corn maze.
But it has to be pretty cool also to see just the map, how intricate, I guess you could say, the planning is and the drawing is. You guys have a whole train mapped out there. It looks like.
Yeah, I would love to take credit for it, but that's really the guys at Maze Play. Like I said, they were really amazing. This is all they do for a living, is corn mazes. So we told them what kind of design we were looking to do. We wanted to really focus our Amusement Rides. Oh, we made it out, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we're safe, guys.
we made it out. We didn't get lost in the kid maze. That's a good thing. But they have a designer that lays out the whole map for the corn maze, and then they enter it into a program. Then the tractors do the rest.
So, I guess any tips or tips, I guess you could say, for anybody who might be coming out this weekend?
If you're going to come out, just come out to have fun. Don't try to use the corn maze, and it's not a timed event. The best way to enjoy the corn maze is to use the checkpoints. When you try to go through the checkpoints, then it becomes more of a challenge because you're trying to find ways to go through and get to this place to that place rather than trying to find a way to get out. You can find a way to get out always, but the trick is to find the checkpoints.
What's what's a few things you've learned from this first year that you're going to be taking in the next year?
Try not to have as much rain. No, I mean, I think really for not doing this before, I think we did a very good job of pulling together all our departments, from operations to setting all the fences up, putting up our fences. I mean, the team of operation guys did a great job getting all that together. Our food service, because we always have food service out here at the main, so you can always get pretzels and you can get drinks and roasted corn, corn in a cup, hot dogs, and then kettle corn. So we have full concessions here as well, so you don't have to travel all the way to the market. But the fun part, again, is come in for the corn maze, but then it's $10 to get in. And that, again, gives you the pumpkin, that gives you the slides, the petting zoo, and gives you full access to the corn maze. And then for $5 more, you can get a combo package, and the combo package will allow you to have an all-day ride wristband. So the all-day ride wristband, then you can walk over to our market and ride all the amusement rides for free all day. That's awesome. Which we have 11 amusement rides. I think that's a hidden gem of Traders Village, is the amusement rides. Yeah. A lot of people know Traders for shopping, or may have heard about Traders for shopping, or just think Traders Village for shopping because it's a flea market. But what they don't know is that our flea market is more than a flea market. It's concrete, it's covered, it's laid out very well, it's very clean, and we have 11 amusement rides. We have a carousel, we have a flea fall that's kind of like a mini, goes up a couple stories and drops, and then the Pharaoh's Fury. So I mean, we have a lot of great rides for kids, and not just little kids, but teenagers.
Just show everybody one more time the amazing looking maze. And I mean, this is 10 acres, so when you're paying $10 to get in, you're basically paying $1 an acre.
Yeah, and again, we actually are fairly priced, lower priced than a lot of the other mazes that are around the area. We did a lot of research in determining the cost for it. I mean, it's not, some people will say $10 is too much, but then again, this doesn't happen all by itself. There's a lot of work that gets involved with it. But for $10 for a fun day, that to me is still fairly inexpensive. And we have a lot of photo opportunities for everybody.
Sorry about that. Thanks. All right, let's real quick. I kind of remember what hopefully the Facebook Live viewers remember what markings we saw back there in the kitty maze. I'm gonna see if maybe we can remember ourselves and pick out which one it is. Also, kind of show them what the kids would be doing. So, like you said, the kids are gonna go around. They're gonna find these footprints, these markings, the tracks, and then they're gonna have this piece of paper. Oh. And they're going to kind of make a print of it themselves. Yeah. And they come over to this big board.
Yeah, so they get that piece of paper there, and then take it over here, use a handy dandy crayon. There you go, that's what it looks like. So then you come over here and you take the etching, and you come over here and you pair it up, and then you determine that, that's Slick the Frog.
Oh, cool.
Slick the Frog, if I could speak. And there's 6 of them in there, so and they change out weekly. So
I think we saw Frank the Pig. I can't remember correctly. I think that's the one we saw. I could be wrong. But again...
And there is actually a game that you can play in the Brown Maze as well. The game in the Brown Maze is, other than just the checkpoints, the Brown Maze actually has a game. So if you go to the large maze, Farmer Joe got taken. We don't know where he's at. So we're asking everybody to help find Farmer Joe. And at each checkpoint, you'll see one of these. And the checkpoint will then give you a clue. It'll tell you where it happened, what animal, and what weapon was used. And then your punch card, you take the hole punch and then just punch the clues. And then at the end you come in and come out and you determine if you find out who took Farmer Joe.
Is that does that change every week, or is that just something?
Yeah, we've been changing it. There's so 1 week it may be the goat, 1 week it may be the pig, 1 week who knows.
That's good. So I mean, it's not just fun that one time. You can come back, bring your friends, and it's a whole nother experience, whole nother mystery. And
what's fun is, like I said, you come in here early in the morning. With Christian written on it and the Batman symbol. Some people get it, some people don't get it at all.
I'm gonna guess your Batman is the Christian Batman. I'm gonna take it you don't like Ben Affleck.
Oh, I love Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck isn't a bale of hay.
Yeah, it's a great.
I mean,
great
the best thing I could do with Ben Affleck is have a duck out here or something like that, and call it the Ben Duck or something. I don't know, but I was looking at the Alamo City Comic Con one afternoon, and the Batman of San Antonio came on, and after that I was like, I was out here painting the bales of hay, and then it just dawned on me like, oh, that would be funny.
That is quite funny. So again, guys, we do have at least one more good weekend here at the Corny Maze at Traders Village, right off of 410. You guys can come this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. $10 to get in per person, correct? So
Yes.
$10 to get in. You guys could have amazing fun, a lot of great fun with your kids, and you don't have to drive 40 plus miles out to another Corny Maze. Nothing against them. It's just this one's right here in San Antonio. First
Yeah,
one
no,
in
and more power to every corn maze out there. I mean, we're not here to take business away from them. Generally speaking, you know, anytime you have another competitor out there, it actually heightens people's level for wanting to go to corn mazes. We just happen to be in town, and what happens is, you know, you'll find some people will come in here, have a great time, and say, man, that was a lot of fun, and then actually want to go to other corn mazes because they had such a great time here, and vice versa. You know, they may hit that one first and have a great time there and go, hey, there's one in San Antonio, why don't we go check that one out? So we're not here to take any business away from anything. Actually, we're here to help make their business stronger as well as have a lot of fun for ourselves. So yeah, please come out. It should be a lot of fun this weekend. Beautiful day, sunny, dry, and you can't ask for a better corn maze.
Well, you can. You got corn mazes. You can paint some pumpkins. Look at all the different turkeys on the bales out here. Maybe even take a picture of Christian bale.
Oh, you gave it away. Jeez.
I don't think they'll catch on.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll never know.
You guys will have to see out here. See what it looks like for yourselves. Come out here.